Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Frontline Network's Company of Heroes 2 World Championship. We've seen a couple of great series tonight, starting out with FatalSaint and Alt, then going in to a 3-time Soviet win series between Seb and Twister, and now we're really breaking out the big guns tonight. We're getting into the quarterfinals, and we're going to be seeing two great players going up against each other. Who are those players, Fatal?
We have none other than VKO expert Symbiosis. He will be playing against Barton, and we're switching map once again and switching it up as much as possible in this tournament to play a little bit of everything, so no one can have one very strong strategy on one set map that an entire, basically a whole tournament will be played on. So we switched it up and threw in Minsk Pocket at round 3. We threw in a Kolodny Winter at round 4, and now at round 5, quarterfinals, we threw in Moscow Outskirts. Moscow Outskirts, you say? Isn't this a 2-player map or a 4-player map, a 2v2 Fatal? Well, they've actually added a summer map. They jumbled basically the resources around a little bit, and it actually kind of works like a 1v1. So now it's actually in auto match, so you can get Moscow Outskirts in auto as 1 versus 1 as well.
And it is we should mention it is a big map. Like it takes a little getting used to, but I'm looking forward to it because I don't believe we've casted Moscow Outskirts in its summer form yet in our regular YouTube casts. So I'm
not in the summer,
excited.
No, we've casted it plenty in the winter version in the closed and open beta because honestly, I find that Moscow Outskirts for 2 versus 2 is just like by far the best map that Relic has to offer right now. It is really, really cool. Got a little bit of a cutoff action going on the left and the right hand side, basically mirror there. And at the same time, you know, you got plenty of resources to go around, and the layout is good. There's nothing cutting up the map into two, like a river, for example, etc. So it's just a really, really solid 2 versus 2 map. So let's see if Symbiosis and Barton can produce some very good 1 versus 1 games on the summer version of Moscow Outskirts.
Alright, well let's get into it from the 5-second mark. I'll be following Barton, and we'll be jumping into this in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Some of you people in chat, some of you 650 odd viewers we have right now might have seen some of these games on Symbiosis' stream. Actually, we have allowed everybody to stream their games. We're all about the community. Some people feel that, but now I know who's gonna win, etc, etc. You know what? Even if you watch the stream through one person's perspective, you don't really have the full picture. You don't really see the full picture of everything's happening. You don't really know what the opponent is doing. You will see small glimpses of it during the engagement, etc, etc. But it's just not the same as watching a replay without fog of war. So it's still gonna be different, and we're all about the community at TFN. Basically, we're promoting everybody we can think of. So if you think that you should be in the community list as a streamer, as a shoutcaster, as anything that has to do with Company of Heroes and Company of Heroes 2, let us know. Send us a PM on Twitch or YouTube, for example, and we'll get that sorted right away.
We've got a couple of Pioneers as an opening for Barton so far. He's gone for the old Vico style, 2 Pioneers, and he's opening first with an MG. So let's see if he has more success than Seb when he tried that in his 3rd game in his series against Twister.
I sure hope so. I'm really banking on these games to be really, really good, and as some people watched that Symbi stream from before, from this matchup, they have told me that you gotta cast this series. It's really good. It's really good games. All of the games are really good, and just gotta cast them all. It's like, okay, we'll take a punt at it if they're done in time. Because when we started casting the last series, the 3 games between Seb and Twister, they were actually still playing, so they just finished up.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking next time we run a tournament, we're going to have to allow for about 2 hours per round as opposed to the old 1 hour per round, because they just don't get done in time. They just don't finish.
I guess 1 hour is just not enough to play a potential of 3 games. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow we get everything completed in time. There's actually only 2 rounds tomorrow, 3 if you will count the bronze matchup as well. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Now in this game we've got Symbiosis is going out, and he's been capping up both the right and left side, while Barton has been sticking to the right like glue. Hasn't even started capping up the left hand side yet, and we're going to see our first worker battle over here. Combat Engineers and Pioneers going at it.
Yeah, both rushing for the green cover, but they're not actually getting any cover from that because they're basically standing on top of each other. At the same time, in the center, a conscript squad from Symbiosis were attempting to cap that VP, but an MG nicely placed from Barton shuts that down as he got extended line of sight from popping the second Pioneer squad into that building. And he's got a Grand squad as well, capping up now, and he's going to extend into the center. Let's see who actually wins. You see, the Pios actually won that worker battle. And I'm telling you, someone buffed the Pio MP40s or something, because I keep winning with my Pios against
ninja patch.
containers.
Yeah,
it's a
because
super ninja patch somewhere, I don't know.
I think SMGs all round got a buff a little while ago in that big patch, just SMGs in general, so I think that would include the Pioneer MP40s, and as well as like the Soviet SMGs and stuff like that, so it would explain why they seem to be doing better versus combat engineers of late.
Yeah, I usually did quite a lot of 2 Pio openings as the Austere, but I stopped doing it because I just found them so lackluster. I always would lose against the initial combat engineers from the Soviets, so I just stopped. But now it feels like my 1 Pio, because I do like the relic devs as well. I just go with the 1 Pio, build my tier 1 building, and then just start shooting out tier 1 units. But now I'm thinking maybe I want to go for that 2 opening to get that extra capping power in the initial stages of the game, at the same time as I can also, you know, potentially upgrade them with flamers or sweepers if I need to do that.
Nice little bit of vaulting here from Symbiosis. Normally, when he gets stuck up in a position like here against the fence in Vico, that would have been, you know, that would have been a retreat position right there. But now, you just hop the fence.
Yeah, the rifle's just like, ah, there's a fence, I'm getting stuck on the fence.
I can't climb it. How do you get around this?
Yeah, mortal enemy of a rifleman has always been a fence in Vico where there's an MG somewhere around. But now it's just vault over and laugh.
Here they go. They're just having fun here, jumping the fence. I think they're getting more usage out of that fence than they are out of their rifles right now. They're just, yeah, we're having fun.
They're just having a workout, you know. You gotta chill out. It's wartime, whatever, but, you know... You
gotta keep in shape in wartime, right?
Keep in shape, yeah. Gotta dodge those bullets from all of these Grens out from Barton. Has he gone all Grens apart from the opening
Apart from one
MG?
MG, yeah. He's gone 3 Grens in a single MG, so very, very heavy. And he's actually going down very aggressively on this right-hand side. He's really pressing up here.
He initially went only for the right-hand side. His initial Pios there that beat up the combat engineers in the initial engagement between those 2 worker units has finally been forced off on the right-hand side, but not before they grabbed the VP and the fuel as well. So Barton has some form of a fuel income, and at the same time he nicked the cutoff from Symbiosis, and he never was able to connect that fuel there. So he's basically sunk all of his fuel into this tier 1 building and into this M3 scout car now. And I know for a fact that Symbiosis' M3 scout car micro is excellent, because I played against him in auto match and he thoroughly just ruffle stomped me into the ground, laughed a little bit and went away. He didn't laugh at all. He's a really nice guy, one of the most pleasant VCO players I've ever talked to. He's a super guy, but he thoroughly just dusted me completely. It wasn't even half funny. I didn't even have a fighting chance. I think I repelled two attacks, and after that it was all downhill.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Finally, good at you, Symbiosis. He actually does not go for the guard rifle combined arms tactics. He has chosen to go for the guard motor coordination tactics, which will enable him to get guard squads, as the doctrine name suggests, but he also has the possibility of getting a 120mm mortar. He gets the marked vehicle ability as well. He gets vehicle crew repairs, and that double calling that we talked about in a previous game we casted tonight, the double T-34/85 calling.
That sounds powerful. 2 T-34s, I'd take that.
Yeah, it's fairly pricey. You still gotta pay 720 manpower and 260 fuel to get the 2 tanks, but you know, you don't need a base building, so you can save a lot of fuel that way, because the base buildings for the Soviets are very expensive, costing 90 fuel, I think, for the higher tier buildings there. So, if you want T-34s, you first gotta shell out 90 fuel for the tier 4 building.
Look at those flamer crits! Look at those flamer crits! All 2 grenadiers go down!
That was brutal. What happened to those guys? They just combusted instantly. I don't know. They were not having a fun time.
I'm so glad that we can't see the chat in replays, because I can just imagine it would just be full of flaming right now. Just like, you fucking scout car bullshit. It just came along and everything died. That's basically the salient facts of the matter. Is the flamers came along and everything died, and now Barton is having to rebuild his grenadiers. Although he is in tier 2 already, he is already in tier 2. He already has a half track and he already has a scout car, which he is now beginning to upgun.
Yeah, but Symbiosis kinda already thought that tier 2 was coming, I think, because he actually stuck his guard squad into the half track after he repaired it up with his combat engineers that initially was in that M3. Now there's a guard squad and they're going to be able to hunt these 2 light vehicles out from Barton, the scout car and the half track. So gotta be paying attention to that now, Barton, that the guys inside the M3 are no longer flamers. Just look at their cloaks that Sarge was talking about before.
Here comes the armored car. He smells blood, but already he's taken a little bit of flak. I mean, it is lightly armored. That armor will be penetrated, and look at that. Wow.
2 PTRS rifles fire at that armored car, and it just goes down so quickly. You gotta pay attention to that thing. You gotta go away now, armored car. Don't lose that 60 munitions investment for that 2-centimeter upgun.
What is the range on those rifles? They just seem to melt armored cars at long range.
Insano range is what I like to call it.
Here he comes
he's
again.
Just going at it.
Ping, ping, ping.
Wants to polish off those 2 light vehicles. The PTRS rifles actually misses their second burst against that half track. They did kill the top gunner. One of the 2 gunners are actually dead from the PTRS rifles. But look now, Symbiosis is basically turning the map dominance back into his favor from the initial map dominance from Barton.
He certainly is. The loss of those 2 grenadier squads was just such a massive blow. Here comes a nice flank now, an Urad powered flank. Gonna see an 18 aid. And now here come the guards to try and finish him off. There it goes, there goes the half track. The scout car is gonna flank around. They've taken their scalp for the day. They're not gonna allow themselves to get fausted. Beautiful M3 micro.
Yeah, excellent M3 mic from Symbiosis. I would say that most likely he is the best player right now with the M3 half-track micro. You know, you have Marcus with his Marcus cars, which Symbiosis is in possession of right now. M3 scout car with a guard squad inside of it, and you also have players like Sefa. I know he likes the M3s as well. I've seen him on stream and in replays as well, but I gotta give it to Symbiosis. When I played against him, he got 1 single M3 half track. That's all he needs. He doesn't need to go for 2 or 3 of them and just stick all of his infantry and just roll around the field in his clown cars, killing everything. He just needs this 1 scout car to pay off a little bit, and it's good.
Although imagine if he did have lots. Imagine 3.
Maybe that's when it breaks down, because there's too much to micro.
There is a lot to micro, you know, when you have lots of them. And maybe, yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe the reason why he goes for 1 is because you can really put a lot of love and attention into your 1 scout car. And as long as it doesn't get caught out by a mine or a Faust, you should be okay.
Or an armored car like it is right now. The guard squad PTRS rifles delivers some damage to the armored car, but the M3 still decides to go away. He's not going to be able to fight the combined forces from Barton right now. He's got 2 Pios fixing up that armored car and a Gren and an MG as well, but he's kind of caught with his pants down from that initial loss of the 2 Grens, so he lost a bit of a map control thing going on for a while. He was in map control, he was in dominance for a while, but he lost that.
First mine has gone down from Symbiosis in the middle, just to the right of the center VP.
Nice. Always love seeing mines. The Soviet mines, kind of similar to the VCO mines. They detonate on both infantry and vehicles, compared to, you know, as you had in VCO, the Teller mines. They are back now in Company of Heroes 2, but they only detonate on vehicles.
A flamer going up against the Grenadier squad in the church here on the right-hand side.
Not getting any crits in on these Grens in the building here. Not exactly sure who's going to win this. It's a very prolonged engagement, I gotta say. It's taking forever. No one's
you don't normally see engagements that last this long with flamers involved.
There we go. 2 guys, 2 Grenadiers down in the church, and Barton should be looking to get out of there right now, and he does that.
There's actually 2 mines laid. If you check that out, there's one just to the south of the middle VP there as well. Another T-35 mine.
Both on the roads as well. He knows that that armored car is basically the only thing that can hunt that M3, and if he can bait it over one of the mines, the armored car will go down.
Here comes a scout car onto the right-hand side, chasing this Grenadier home. He knows that there's no support, so he knows he is free to chase them as much as he wants. The guard's in there, and the main gun is doing a lot of damage. One guy goes down, is getting very low in health. He might be able to polish it off here. It would be a big blow if he did. Another squad guy goes down. There's just one man left, and he goes down. That's another Grenadier loss. That makes 3 so far, and we're only 13 minutes into this game.
Yeah, now with Vet 2 on that M3, it becomes quite a difficult vehicle to handle because it actually gets increased weapon damage and also, you know, a reduction in damage taken, so he can actually stay on the field much longer, as he's not going to be taking that much damage from small arms fire anymore.
Sound of those PDRS rifles must be filling Barton with fear.
That M3 is right now the bane of Barton's army. He just can't polish it off. He actually has Treks on his P-Grens as well, but he's basically been sitting here at this same spot the entire game almost. He's been forced into this little corner, you can almost call it. He's built himself a bunker there as well.
Yeah, I know. I saw that, and he's actually upgrading that to a medic bunker, so he's going to be able to heal out of that.
Yeah, Barton is under the impression that it's better to have the bunker on the field to heal up right here instead of putting it safely in your base where it's guarded by base MGs and whatnot. Instead, he always chooses to actually place it somewhere on the field so he can get forward healing and then get a half track for forward reinforcement as well.
Symbiosis now got a sniper. What is this? Vico? This feels like Symbiosis Vico. This feels like, you know, get your M8, get your sniper. You know, it's very classic Symbi play.
Stay away from the majority of your enemy's army, pick your fights, pick your battles, do as much damage as you can do, but at the same time, don't let your opponent do any damage to you.
And just, yeah, you know, just keep on diversifying your army. That's what he's all about. You know, you start off with conscripts, you get a vehicle, then you get guards, then you get a sniper.
I believe
sure
he knows what
and
he wants.
look at this. He's then got an SU-85. You know, it's not like he gets 2 of anything. It's, you know, you get 1 of this, so your opponent has to get 1 thing to counter that. So you get something else, and now he has to counter something else, and now he's got this SU-85, so he's got the vehicles countered.
Sniper needs to go away now, though, however, and these Shreks are pursuing that M3. They take, wow, 3 nice Shrek hits on that SU-85. That might not be that long-lived. I bet that Symbiosis thought that he was going to be safe, that Barton was just going to sit back, and instead he could shoot at him, pick away at the vehicles and his fortification here with his long-range SU-85, but that didn't happen. Double snipers out now. Second sniper team comes onto the field for Symbiosis.
Oh, double snipers are going to hurt against this relatively low-tech army from Barton. Certainly no tanks, no sort of desire to tech for tanks. He's actually building himself another MG, which is going to play right into the hands of those double snipers. However, he did invest in a mortar half-track.
I see that, so we actually don't have assault support chosen from Barton, which we have seen plenty of this tournament. He's actually decided to go for the Festum support instead, which will give him that mortar half-track, for example.
Oh, Pack misses the scout car. The scout car just dips in and out of dodge.
Those M3s just fly all over the field with overdrive. They get it at vet 1, so you gotta get some veterans, you gotta get some kills on the scout car before you unlock it. But when you do, you can get out of all sticky situations.
Snipers executed a couple of Grenadier squads there, and they're now moving up to start picking away at this MG crew.
Order opening up on the pinned conscript squad, trying to take that cutoff, and that's a nice incendiary round. Yeah, from that mortar track. That forces the snipers off. Oh, mine goes off in the center, Molotov as well, and here comes that scout car. Vet 2 guard squad in a Vet 2 M3. That thing is beastly.
Oh, that's frightening. But now being chased by a Vet 2 armored car, so it's Vet 2 for everyone.
Look at that, he's so close to that southern mine.
He's trying to bait him into that mine so badly.
He doesn't know it's there. I don't think that Barton noticed it being planted. He has no clue it's a mine right there. VPs are quite firmly in Symbiosis' hand. Triple Drain is back on Barton, down to 330 VPs now, and he needs to break out of this hole that Symbiosis has on it right now. He's cornered almost, and he's now splitting up his forces to go a little bit on the left, a little bit on the right. Gonna keep in control of the center as well.
Over here on the left-hand side, Symbiosis is gonna decap the fuel from Barton.
Greg Pigren might be in trouble, down to one man. He's not retreating, he's actually running away. Conscript Squad forced off the fuel point on the left-hand side. He's going to be able to reclaim that VP at least and slow down the drain. Snipers opens up on the MGs. They are going to be forced to pack up, but not before the second sniper team takes him out, drops the weapon on the ground.
Oh no, this MG's been caught out of position as he comes out of the base. He gets hunted down by a scout car. He's probably going to go down here, and he does go down, very quickly killed by these guards here. Here comes a scout car into the rear. Now he's found a mortar half track. He's found loads of stuff here that he can kill.
I want to shoot at everything right now, is what the guard squad is saying, but they decide to decrew the pack first with the M3 gunner. And here comes the armored car now. That's actually also up to Vet 2, so he's going to be able to combat that Vet 2 M3 half-track.
M3 does finally go down, but the Su-85 is opening up on that half-track. They managed to button the mortar half-track as well.
Nice. This half-track surely going to go down right now. SU rolls in, kills that. The mortar half-track is in trouble. Very low health, small armor fire.
Goes down as well. Barton's army has just shrunk hugely in the last couple of minutes. He's down now to just 4 units, of which one is a Pioneer. He's got 1 Gren, 1 Panzer Grenadier, and 1 armored car. The 1 armored car is his one singular vehicle, but when you're facing the caliber of units like Su-85s, it feels incredibly lackluster.
Correct, Pigren gets picked off on retreat by the female sniper team actually. Both the male and the female team now up to Vet 1, which actually gives them sprint that you can use for a small munitions cost. At the same time, we have more tier 4 units out for Symbiosis. I don't believe it has actually fired yet, but Katusha is on the field. But it's not ever gonna fire because Barton throws in the towel.
Barton throws in the towel. Well, he was down to 3 units, and in all honesty, he was getting kind of pummeled.
He was cornered from, you know, the first minute due to that M3, just roaming around the field, getting veterancy, getting plenty of kills. The 2 initial Grenadiers was basically the biggest hit. He lost capping control by losing 2 infantry squads that early, and he also lost a load of resources losing both of those squads. So after that, it was an uphill battle, and he didn't figure it out. He couldn't counter the unit composition from Symbiosis.
Nope, it was just too much, too well preserved from Symbiosis and too much of a diverse army. But it's time to take a quick break while we switch over to the second game from this series and see what Symbiosis can do when he is given the chance to play as the Ostier. Will he get pummeled like Barton did, or has he got a good strategy to work out for this map? Soon we will find out. We will be back.